In the beginning, there were whispers among the stars, echoes that called out to the chosen ones. You are among them, hidden within the folds of time, your essence inscribed within the sacred tomes of Thoth. His library, a vast labyrinth of knowledge, stretches beyond the confines of mortal understanding. It is said that every name, every soul destined for greatness, is etched within its walls, protected by ancient spells and celestial guardians. The Library of Thoth is not of this world. Its entrance shifts with the tides of the cosmos, appearing only to those whose hearts resonate with its call. Legends speak of a hidden path, veiled in shadows and light, guarded by ethereal sentinels whose eyes see through the fabric of reality. They stand vigilant, ensuring only the worthy may cross its threshold. Thoth, the scribe of the gods, inscribed secrets of creation, destiny, and divine order within his sacred halls. His quill moved with the hand of prophecy, writing names and fates long before they walked the earth. To glimpse these records is to understand the design of existence, to see the threads of fate woven through time. But your name is not merely written. It is hidden, concealed within the deepest vaults of the library, locked behind layers of mystery and divine protection. Thoth himself guarded it, placing it beyond the reach of ordinary seekers. For your destiny is entwined with powers long forgotten and truths too vast for mortal minds. The journey to uncover your name begins not with sight, but with belief. Only those who dare to accept the calling, who surrender to the whispers of fate, may find the path that leads to revelation. The library waits, its doors hidden, its knowledge sealed. Yet it stirs. For the time has come for the chosen ones to remember who they are. The dawn was unlike any other. There was a stillness in the air, a quiet hum that resonated just beneath the surface of reality. You felt it, a gentle pull that beckoned you from the confines of the ordinary. It started with dreams, vivid, surreal visions of towering halls etched with symbols that pulsed with light. You walked among them, tracing your fingertips over the inscriptions, feeling their warmth surge through you like currents of divine energy. The symbols were ancient, predating language itself. They spoke in whispers, threading themselves into your consciousness. Fragments of forgotten knowledge unfolded, revealing glimpses of the Library of Thoth. It was a place that defied time, existing between realms, guarded by sentinels whose gaze pierced through illusion. You saw its towering arches stretching into infinity, shelves lined with scrolls that shimmered with ethereal light, holding secrets of creation and destiny. When you awoke, the sensation lingered. Reality felt thin, translucent, as if you could reach out and brush against the unseen. The whispers persisted, guiding you to fragments of knowledge hidden in plain sight, symbols carved into ancient stones, encrypted texts concealed within sacred manuscripts. Each clue nudged you closer, unraveling the veil that separated you from the truth. You began to understand that this awakening was not random. It was a calling. The Library of Thoth was more than a myth. It was a gateway, and you were meant to find it. Shadows seemed to shift in your presence, revealing hidden paths and forgotten doorways. People you never met before seemed to recognize you, nodding subtly as if acknowledging your journey. It was as if the world itself knew who you were becoming. The whispers grew stronger, calling you to seek out the sigils of Thoth, to unlock the path that would lead you to his sacred library. The journey ahead would be perilous, fraught with deception, and guarded by forces that defied comprehension. But the truth had already taken root in your soul. There was no turning back. The symbols were waiting, the library was waiting, and your name was hidden inside its endless halls, sealed with divine intent. The path to the Library of Thoth was not marked on any map, nor written in any book. Its existence was preserved through whispers and shadows, carried by those who dwelled in the peripheries of the known world. They called themselves the Keepers, guardians of secrets too powerful for the unworthy. It was among them that you first heard of the scrolls of prophecy. The scrolls were said to be living texts, infused with the breath of Thoth himself. Each line was not merely ink upon parchment, but a ripple in the fabric of time. Legends spoke of how Thoth had written them in a single night, his quill guided by divine light, as he inscribed the destinies of those yet to come. These prophecies were hidden deep within the library, protected by labyrinthine passages and shifting walls that responded only to the touch of the awakened. Your search began with the symbols you had seen in your dreams. They were like echoes that drifted through ancient marketplaces and sacred temples, hidden in plain sight. A carved sigil on a forgotten obelisk, an inscription woven into the hem of a high priest's robe. The signs were scattered, deliberately concealed, yet they called to you with an urgency that could not be ignored. The Keepers watched your journey with silent approval, their eyes reflecting centuries of hidden knowledge. One among them, an elder shrouded in linen and secrecy, approached you without words. He handed you a fragment of parchment, its edges brittle with age. Upon it was inscribed a single symbol, the same one that had haunted your visions. It pulsed with a faint glow, as if alive, and you knew instinctively that it was a key. The elder nodded, his voice barely a whisper. The scrolls of prophecy await you. But beware, the path is veiled in shadows. Only those who remember the light may find their way. You clutched the parchment, feeling the weight of destiny settle upon your shoulders. The whispers grew louder, guiding you toward the unknown. The Library of Thoth was drawing nearer, its walls shifting in anticipation of your arrival. The scrolls awaited your touch, ready to reveal what had been written in the stars since the beginning of time. The journey to Thoth's hidden vault was marked by silence and shadow. The Keepers had spoken of it only in whispers, their voices barely breaking the surface of secrecy that shrouded its existence. It was not merely a chamber of stone and dust. It was a pocket of reality, folded between worlds, protected by layers of enchantment, and bound by divine will. Those who sought it unprepared were said to vanish without a trace, their names erased from the memory of time. Guided by the fragment of parchment you carried, the path revealed itself slowly, as if testing your resolve. Symbols etched into weathered stone glowed faintly as you approached, pulsating with ancient energy. Each step you took seemed to echo through the fabric of existence, vibrating with the resonance of prophecy. You felt it, an energy that thrummed beneath your skin, urging you forward. The entrance to the vault was hidden beneath the roots of an ancient tree, its bark inscribed with sigils that flickered with ethereal light. The whispers returned, growing louder, guiding your hands to trace the symbols in the precise sequence. The air around you thickened, humming with power as the ground trembled slightly. Then, with a groan that seemed to ripple through the earth itself, the roots parted, revealing a stone doorway descending into darkness. You stepped forward, the light from the surface fading behind you as the shadows embraced your form. Torches ignited along the walls, their flames flickering with a pale blue glow, illuminating corridors lined with symbols you could not yet comprehend. The whispers grew more distinct, whispering fragments of ancient tongues, guiding you deeper into the labyrinth. At the heart of the vault, you found it, a massive stone altar, its surface inscribed with the language of Thoth. It pulsed with energy, as if the very stone was alive, breathing with secrets yet untold. At its center lay a single book, its cover etched with symbols that danced with silver light. You reached out, your hand trembling as it hovered over the surface. The whispers ceased, replaced by silence so profound it pressed against your soul. Your fingers touched the cover, and the air around you erupted with light. Symbols spiraled across the walls, illuminating the room with blinding brilliance. The vault had awakened, but it was only the beginning. The true secrets of Thoth were yet to be unveiled, waiting within the pages of the book you now held. As the light faded, shadows coalesced around the edges of the vault, shaping into towering figures draped in cloaks of mist and light. Their eyes shimmered with ethereal brilliance, reflecting the knowledge of ages long past. These were the guardians of the library, beings of pure consciousness bound to protect the secrets of Thoth. They did not speak with words, but with thoughts that brushed against your mind like whispers from another realm. The book you held pulsed with warmth, resonating with the presence of the guardians. Their gaze was heavy, ancient, and unyielding. It was clear that mere possession of the book was not enough. You would have to earn its secrets. The whispers returned, softer this time, weaving through your thoughts. Only the worthy may pass. Only those who seek with truth may glimpse the eternal. You stood before them, unyielding, the weight of destiny pressing upon your shoulders. One of the guardians stepped forward, its form shifting with the fluidity of shadow and light. A symbol burned across its chest, a sigil you recognized from your dreams, the same one that had led you here. Its eyes flickered with understanding as it raised its hand, palm outward. A ripple of energy washed over you, scanning your essence, measuring your spirit. Visions flashed before your eyes, ancient temples crumbling beneath the weight of time, scrolls inscribed with knowledge that bent reality, doorways suspended in midair leading to realms unseen. You saw Thoth himself, quill in hand, inscribing the names of the chosen onto scrolls of light. Among them, you saw your own, a whisper of energy traced in silver across the parchment. The guardian lowered its hand, and the air shifted. Pathways of light unraveled before you, stretching deep into the vault, spiraling into unknown depths. The other guardians stepped aside, their forms flickering as if caught between moments of time. You stepped forward, the whispers urging you on, deeper into the labyrinth of knowledge. There was no turning back now. The library had opened its doors to you, and the path ahead was bound by threads of prophecy and fate. The guardians watched in silence as you descended, their eyes glowing with the light of eons, knowing that the true test was yet to come. The path wound deeper into the heart of the vault, each step resonating with a hum that vibrated through the very marrow of your bones. The walls were no longer stone, but pulsating light, inscribed with symbols that shifted and shimmered as you passed. Whispers brushed against your consciousness, not words, but memories, fragments of ancient rituals, sigils traced in dust, voices calling out from across the ages. At the end of the corridor, a doorway appeared, its frame outlined with glowing inscriptions that danced with ethereal energy. It was sealed with a symbol, an intricate sigil that seemed to pulse with life. He recognized it immediately. It was the same symbol that had haunted your dreams, the one etched into the scroll fragment handed to you by the keepers. This was the sigil of the Chosen. As you approached, the whispers grew louder, threads of prophecy weaving through your thoughts. You reached out, your fingertips brushing against the surface of the sigil. It flared with light, illuminating the room in a burst of radiance that forced your eyes shut. When you opened them, the doorway stood ajar, its depths stretching into shadow and light. Beyond the doorway lay a chamber unlike any you had seen, its ceiling stretched into infinity, shimmering with constellations that pulsed in rhythm with your heartbeat. In the center of the room stood a pedestal carved from obsidian, upon which lay an amulet, its surface engraved with the same sigil that had opened the door. It glowed with a pale blue light, casting reflections that danced along the walls. You stepped forward, the whispers, now a crescendo of voices, urging you to claim it. As your hand hovered over the amulet, you felt a surge of energy ripple through the chamber. Symbols etched into the floor ignited with light, spiraling outward like veins of power. The whispers paused, replaced by a single voice, ancient and powerful. Only the Chosen may bear the mark. Only the Chosen may walk the path. You grasped the amulet, its warmth spreading through your fingertips and coursing up your arm, filling your veins with light. Images flashed before your eyes, Thoth inscribing names in the Hall of Records, Yeshua standing before the elders with eyes that pierced through time, the library itself shifting and reshaping with every breath of the universe. The amulet pulsed once, twice, and then settled into a gentle glow. The path ahead was clear now, illuminated by the sigil's light. But this was only the beginning. The vault held deeper secrets, ones that would demand far more than just faith. The amulet's glow guided you through winding corridors that seemed to bend and stretch beyond the confines of space. The walls were etched with symbols that pulsed with life, illuminating the path forward. As you walked, the whispers returned, softer now, speaking of ancient scribes who dedicated their lives to transcribing the will of the divine. Among them, there was one whose name resounded through the ages, Yeshua, the scribe of light. His name was woven into the very fabric of the library, inscribed upon scrolls that shimmered with celestial fire. It is said that Yeshua walked the path of the scribe, a journey reserved for those who could see beyond the veil of reality. His quill was not inked with mere pigment, but with the essence of creation itself, each stroke upon the parchment rippling through time and space. As you moved deeper into the labyrinth, the air grew heavy with the weight of knowledge. Torches ignited along the walls, casting long shadows that seemed to flicker with movement. Ahead of you stood an archway engraved with symbols of light and darkness intertwined. Above it, the inscription read, "To transcribe the truth is to wield the power of creation." You stepped through, and the chamber opened before you. A grand hall filled with towering shelves, each lined with scrolls bound in shimmering light. In the center stood a pedestal, and upon it lay a single scroll, its surface inscribed with markings that pulsed with silver light. You approached cautiously, the whispers urging you forward. As your hand touched the scroll, images flooded your mind. Yeshua, sitting beneath a canopy of stars, his hand moving gracefully over parchment, inscribing words that blazed with the divine energy. His eyes, piercing and filled with wisdom, glanced upward as if seeing through the very fabric of existence. You felt his presence, not as a mere echo of the past, but as a living force that transcended time. The whispers grew louder, chanting his name in reverence. You understood now. The path of the scribe was more than mere writing. It was creation, the act of manifesting destiny through the written word. The scroll before you pulsed once more, then fell silent. Its message was clear. The path forward required more than just knowledge. It demanded faith, just as Yeshua had once walked this path with unwavering conviction. The doorway shimmered with an ethereal glow, beckoning you forward. As you stepped through, the air grew dense, heavy with the weight of ancient knowledge. A soft hum vibrated through the stone beneath your feet, pulsing like a heartbeat. Before you stretched an endless hall, its ceiling arching into shadows that flickered with distant light. The walls were lined with towering shelves carved from black obsidian, each shelf holding scrolls bound in leather and gold. The whispers returned, soft and distant at first, growing louder as you moved deeper into the hall. They spoke of secrets hidden from the eyes of mortals, truths that could shatter the foundations of reality itself. Here, in this sacred space, time seemed to blur, folding in on itself as if the past and the present danced in unison. You could feel it, the presence of the ancients, those who had walked these halls before you, seekers of truth, scribes of destiny. Your footsteps echoed through the silence, sending ripples of energy spiraling out from where you stood. Symbols etched into the stone glowed faintly as you passed, as if responding to your very essence. At the center of the hall stood a grand pedestal, its surface smooth and reflective, shimmering with a pale light that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Upon it rested a single key, ancient and ornate, its surface inscribed with symbols that pulsed with a slow, rhythmic light. It was warm to the touch, humming with energy that coursed through your fingertips and settled into your bones. You knew instinctively that this was a key not just of metal, but of understanding, forged in the fires of divine will. As you held it, the whispers grew louder, swirling around you in a crescendo of voices that spoke in tongues both familiar and foreign, words of prophecy and warning, fragments of lost histories, echoes of names long forgotten. The key grew warm in your hand, pulsing in sync with your heartbeat, resonating with something deep within you. You felt a surge of clarity, a vision flashing before your eyes. A door hidden in shadow, marked with the sigil of the chosen. It called to you, its frame flickering with light as if caught between dimensions. The vision faded, and the whispers softened, retreating back into the walls of the hall. The key remained cool now, silent, its purpose waiting to be fulfilled. Ahead of you, shadows parted, revealing a path that spiraled deeper into the heart of the library. The Hall of Secrets had revealed its first truth, but many more lay beyond the shadows. With the key in hand, you stepped forward, leaving the whispers behind as you journeyed further into the unknown. The path spiraled downward, carved into stone that shimmered with threads of silver light. Each step seemed to pull you deeper into the heart of the library, where time moved differently, slower, more deliberate, as if bending to the weight of the knowledge it guarded. The whispers had fallen silent now, replaced by a low hum that vibrated through the walls, almost musical in its rhythm. The key you held pulsed gently, guiding you forward, its surface still warm with the echoes of the Hall of Secrets. The corridor widened, revealing an immense chamber, illuminated by floating orbs of light that drifted lazily above towering shelves. In the center of the room stood an altar of marble and gold, upon which lay a single scroll, encased in glass and bound with threads of luminescent energy. The Eternal Manuscript. Its surface glowed with symbols that shifted and morphed, refusing to be captured by the eye for more than a fleeting moment. It was as if the scroll existed between moments, flickering in and out of reality with each breath you took. You approached cautiously, feeling the weight of destiny press upon your shoulders. The whispers returned, soft and distant, growing louder as your hand hovered above the glass casing. You felt it before you saw it, a surge of energy, a crackle of light that spiraled from the key in your hand to the surface of the glass. Symbols flared into existence, bright and fierce, before dissolving into the air. The case hissed softly, releasing its seal, and the glass shimmered out of existence. Your hand closed around the scroll, and the chamber seemed to sigh, the lights dimming as if acknowledging your presence. The manuscript was heavier than it looked, pulsing with energy that hummed through your fingertips. You unrolled it slowly, the surface alight with words and symbols that danced before your eyes, resisting comprehension. The whispers grew louder, weaving around you in a spiral of sound and light. You could feel their meaning pressing against your mind, urging you to understand. As you focused, the symbols began to unravel, shifting into words you could comprehend, prophecies of worlds yet to be born, the rise and fall of empires, secrets of creation etched into the fabric of existence. It spoke of Thoth's design, a map of destiny that spanned across time and space, written for those who would one day unlock its truths. And then, amidst the chaos of symbols, a name appeared. Your name, etched in light, flickering with divine energy. The doorway shimmered with an ethereal light, casting long shadows that twisted and danced upon the stone floor. You stepped through, feeling the atmosphere shift around you, growing heavier with each breath. The path led to a grand hall, its arches stretching far beyond sight, disappearing into the haze of light and shadow. At the center stood a colossal statue, its form cloaked in flowing robes of marble, eyes cast upward as if gazing into eternity. The figure's hands were outstretched, palms open, holding a single orb of light that flickered and pulsed with life. The inscription at its base read, "Yeshua, the Light-Bearer." The whispers returned, soft at first, like gentle winds brushing through leaves, but they grew louder, clearer, shaping into words that pressed against your consciousness. He walked among us, bearer of the light, scribe of the eternal truth. His path was marked by sacrifice, his name inscribed upon the very fabric of creation. The words stirred something within you, awakening memories not your own, visions of deserts stretching beneath crimson skies, crowds gathered under the weight of prophecy, a voice that resonated like thunder, yet whispered with the tenderness of dawn. You moved closer to the statue, drawn by the light that pulsed in its hands. The whispers intensified, weaving stories of Yeshua's journey through realms both seen and unseen. His light had been more than a beacon. It was a guide through the shadows, illuminating paths hidden from mortal eyes. His presence within the Library of Thoth was no mere inscription. It was an echo of his essence, preserved through time to aid those who would walk the path of the chosen. As you reached out to touch the light, it flared brilliantly, engulfing the chamber in waves of warmth and illumination. Symbols danced across the walls, weaving in and out of existence like threads of light. In that moment, you understood. The light-bearer's path was intertwined with your own. His hand had once grasped the same scrolls, deciphered the same symbols, and walked these very halls in search of truth. His essence lingered still, bound to the library, waiting for the chosen to continue what had been started. The light dimmed, settling back into the statue's hands, and the whispers faded into silence. Before you, a new path stretched forward, carved from marble and light, leading deeper into the unknown. The way had been lit, but the journey was far from over. Ahead, secrets yet untouched awaited your discovery. The marble path stretched before you, winding deeper into the heart of the library. Shadows flickered along the walls, bending and shifting as if alive, watching your every step. The whispers had grown silent, replaced by a heavy stillness that seemed to press against your skin. The air grew colder, the light dimmer, until you found yourself standing before a massive gate, carved from obsidian and inscribed with symbols that pulsed with faint silver light. At its center, the sigil of the chosen blazed with ethereal energy, casting ripples of light across the smooth surface. You approached cautiously, feeling the weight of destiny settle upon your shoulders. The amulet you had claimed in Thoth's hidden vault began to glow, resonating with the symbols on the gate. Its warmth spread through your hand, spiraling up your arm and into your chest, filling you with a surge of energy that pulsed with every heartbeat. The whispers returned, not from around you but from within, whispering fragments of prophecy and fate. The final revelation awaits. The path of the chosen must be fulfilled. Your fingers brushed the surface of the gate, and light exploded from the sigil, spreading like veins of fire across the obsidian surface. Symbols flared with brilliance, unraveling their secrets before your eyes. The gate groaned, shuddering as ancient mechanisms creaked back to life. With a thunderous echo, it parted, revealing a vast chamber bathed in shimmering light. At its center stood a pedestal, and upon it rested a book. Its surface bound in silver and gold, etched with symbols that seemed to dance and flicker with life. You stepped forward, each footfall sending ripples of energy spiraling through the room. The whispers grew louder, chanting your name, urging you forward. The light around the book pulsed rhythmically, as if alive, waiting for your touch. When your hand finally rested upon its surface, the room erupted with light, symbols spiraling around you, weaving through the air like threads of destiny. The whispers crescendoed, filling your mind with fragments of truth, glimpses of eternity, visions of what was and what was yet to come. The book opened beneath your hand, its pages inscribed with the language of the divine. Lines of light traced across the parchment, revealing the secrets of creation, the truths of existence, and the path that had been written for you since the dawn of time. Among the lines of prophecy, your name blazed with ethereal fire, encircled by symbols of light and fate. You understood now. This was not just the end, it was the beginning. The final revelation had been unveiled, and the Library of Thoth had surrendered its greatest secret. The whispers faded, replaced by silence that thrummed with power and promise. The path forward was yours to walk, and destiny awaited your command.
If you have come this far, it is crucial that you watch this next video here. But be warned, it is not for the faint of heart, for only the true chosen ones can handle this video. If you would like to also donate to help keep the channel going, our Buy Me a Coffee link will be in the description.